Hey, welcome back to Let's Learn Git No Excuses. In part four, we're going to look at parallel universes with branch and merge. This is actually one of the super powers of Git that we can branch off from our master reality, make any changes to our code or documents we want, and then merge back the changes we want into that master reality. If we don't want to make those changes, we can simply flush them away or just pretend they're not there anymore, and life will go on like normal. So the basic idea is that there are these branches we can make. If we think of our timeline of commits as one single continuous thing with a bunch of commits being dots or nodes on it, from any one of those nodes, we can literally draw a line up or down into another dot and make that a new branch. And that will have a new reality of its own number line. So how we do that is with this ability called get branch. Now, if all we type is get branch, it just shows us what branches we have available. Pretty easy to do. Again, very safe thing to do. It's a read-only operation. But then if we say get branch and then name a branch, I named this one new branch. It does not matter what you name it. You can name your branch whatever you want. You can name it with a naming system that your team uses. You can use something, a number system that makes sense to you. But that's how you do it. Get branch and then the name of the branch. Then to get into that branch, to make Git realize this is the reality we're dealing with, we say Git checkout and then the name of that branch. So since I have a branch new branch, I simply say Git checkout new branch. And then when I run Git branch again, it shows me what branch I'm actually in. Changes that we make in the branch that we're in aren't reflected in master until we want it to be. So here you can see in my new branch that I've actually made an additional change that doesn't show up in master. GitLog is smart enough to tell me, hey, master is over here, and then your head for this branch is here. That's what head is, where Git thinks reality lives. As long as we're in our branch, master is not going to be messed with. Now, when we want to push those changes into our master branch, what we're actually going to do is change back into master and then pull those changes in. And that's what we're going to do with merge. It's easiest to think about merge in terms of pulling things into it. Git is local. Everything with Git is local. So if you always think in terms of pulling toward you locally or pushing away from you locally, you're always going to have a better time. But Git merge, if you think about it as a pull operation, it's going to work a little easier in the long run. So here we jump back into master, and then we pulled that change we made in new branch down into our master branch. Now, quick note, master is just the default first name of the branch, nothing special there. Just that happens to be what the first one is called. But sometimes we will make a change to the same file, both in master and in our branch. And when we try to merge that together, well, Git gets confused. Git is the stupid content tracker after all. And when it doesn't know which reality to go with, what did you really mean? Which of these is the true source of truth? Again, master doesn't mean anything special. It's another branch name. Git gives up. It gives you what's called a merge conflict. And we're not going to get into a lot about merge conflicts other than generally how you fix them. So Git will actually show you what is wrong. So here's a file where it points like, okay, head's pointing here, new branch is pointing there. If we clean those things up, then we can just make a new commit, and then we're back to a fixed reality where Git knows what's going on again. There are off-the-shelf tools, so you don't have to go manually fix every file. It will give you like a left and a right and say, hey, do you want to go with this change or this change? And you just select which one you want to go with. That's the general idea of merge tools. Again, there's a lot to choose from out there. We're not going to get into a lot of the specific ones. If you're using the GUI, maybe it's a little easier to understand those conflicts through something like SourceTree or Git Tower. But that's the idea. You're going to run into merge conflicts when you start branching and merging. But that's the general idea. We need to branch to have a parallel universe we can work in. That's really powerful. So if I'm a developer, I can simply have a new branch to work in to try out my changes. And if none of it works, I've never touched the main branch. There's nothing to undo. And if I want to make those changes permanent in my master branch, well, I would check out master, do a git merge, pull those changes into my main master timeline, So come back and in part five, we're going to look at online repositories and how to work with those. And these are tools you're probably familiar with, like GitHub or GitLab or Bitbucket.